Good morning. Welcome back to At Home with Roby. I'm Patrick McIsaac from Roby Electric, along with Trent Haston from the Roby family of companies. We are your hosts. Trent, Super Bowl Sunday. We have a man that is known well throughout the Carolinas, Mr. Deems May. Deems, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's good to be with you guys again in a little bit of professional setting instead of the golf course, but good to be here. I appreciate y'all having me.
How did that go, Trent, on that golf course?
We can still beat on each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah. Well, Deems, you played in a Super Bowl, so what better of a guy to have here? I mean, obviously, Trent and I, we tried out. They wouldn't let us play in the Super Bowl, but we didn't have that experience.
Patrick's being all coy, acting like it was just happen chance.
Yeah.
That this was the show. We invited Deems as our guest to come on and grace us with his wisdom, but I think Patrick had it all planned out, and then now he's like, aha.
Not that smart.
9 o'clock on Super Bowl Sunday. But, Deems, it's good to have you, man. I've enjoyed knowing you over the last couple of years and look forward to being pals and hanging the rest of our lives. And you always impart wisdom and knowledge on us. So let's help Charlotte out here, brother.
Well, I appreciate being on again, and like listening to your show. Glad to be here this morning. It is Super Bowl Sunday. It's an exciting time. I mean, this brings out people that watch one game a year. I mean, and it brings out the fans that don't watch it at all during the season, and it's an exciting time. A lot of us love the commercials, and my wife will watch the first game of the year for this time just for the commercials, and you know, for people around here, you know, it's kind of bittersweet. You know, your arch rivals in it, and who do you pull for? Do you pull for the hated Patriots, or do you pull for your hated, you know, NFC South rival? So I would say that right now, if I had to get Tom Brady away from Foxborough, I mean, they're not nearly as good just with any other team in the home field is huge. But I think it's a bigger advantage for New England than quite possibly anybody else because they always seem to have home field advantage throughout the playoffs, and they play in the AFC East, which is not a very good league, and so I mean they always end up somehow with the bye and home field advantage, and that really helps them. You get them to a neutral field, and last time they were there, you know, Russell Wilson throws that interception, or you know, things are different. But I tell you, if I'm a Panther fan right now, and I am, I'm kind of torn too. But I think I'd have to go with the Falcons.
But I've heard a lot of Panthers fans, like my father-in-law. He's pretty critical. He said the Falcons need a win, so it'll put some oomph in the Panthers to get it right and really hold them accountable to be the best.
That's a good point. I tell you, you look at how fast they made the turnaround, and that's got to give you hope too as a Panther fan. That somebody goes, you go from 15-1 to 6-10 is as bad a drop as you can pretty much get. Yeah. One of the worst you've seen in the history of the NFL, and it's just a fine line, and it goes to the front office on making the right free agency calls. And there's been ad nauseum just beat to death on the Josh Norman deal with the Panthers and everything, and right now, you know, you can't look back. You got to figure out somehow to get you a left tackle to protect Cam. You got to figure out, you know, some ways to get another running back in there. But I think they really have to address the offensive line immediately. Cam's big and he's strong, but he can't keep getting hit like he is. And I think that, you know, the Falcons did that, man. They addressed the running game. They addressed it and just made some key perfect pickups at free agency, and look at where they are now. They're the hottest team by far.
So was Josh Norman that valuable to us, or was it his energy?
You know, that's a good question. A lot of people are talking about the system, but you know, he was very good. I mean, there's no doubt he's very good. They didn't make the play. I mean, but you know, the Panthers have always put a lot of emphasis on locker room, and there were some distractions with Josh Norman, obviously, and they saw it when he went to Washington as well. So I think that, you know, after going 15-1, I think everybody's head got a little bit bigger for their office, thought that, hey, you know what, this is a system here. It's not all about the players. We can plug somebody in there. And I think they've got two really good corners. But, man, as rookies, it's so tough to step onto that field and play that. So I don't think that was the whole thing. I think it contributed to it. But I thought they thought, you know, we can get this. This guy's going to mess around with us and cost us this amount of money, then we're going to be done with him, kind of make a point. And that's kind of been Gettleman's M.O. is, look, I'm the man in charge. And it backfired last year, and they didn't have a good year. So I'm looking for a more humble Gettleman when he goes into free agency and the draft, and probably hoping to get help from others around him instead of making a lot of unilateral decisions like he did.
So Deems, we're a business show, and a family business is kind of how our business is built. And we like to talk a little bit about history and how you come along. So since we're not a sports show, some of the business folks might not be aware of the business tycoon that you are in the Charlotte region. But won't you give us, you played football at Chapel Hill. Well, and you grew up in Charlotte, right?
No, I grew up in Lexington.
In Lexington. No,
Yeah, I'm
I
a
knew
small
that,
town boy.
actually.
Yeah.
I knew that. But won't you tell us a little bit about your history? And I mean, we tie it back so the audience just knows.
Sure, I was drafted out of North Carolina in 1992, seventh round by the San Diego Chargers, which is another sad thing again because they're no longer in San Diego. So a lot of good memories there. But talking about Super Bowl 29, we were there, played against the 49ers.
Who was your coach then?
Bobby Ross.
That's what I thought.
Bobby Ross was there.
Was that Natron Means Business?
Natron Means, yes.
Your team, did y'all play at Carolina?
We played
together?
at Carolina together, and
Bobby
then played
Ross?
at San Diego together.
Coach at Georgia Tech too in the early 90s.
Yeah, he was there. Bobby Ross's rookie year was my rookie year.
Okay.
Wow.
So we had a lot of learning to do, but from college to the pros, and went to Super Bowl. But we were underdogs, and our big game came the week before 2 weeks before against Pittsburgh. We were 16-point underdogs and beat them up in Three Rivers. So that was kind of our Super Bowl. 49ers were on a roll. Steve Young, Jerry Rice, Ricky Waters. They were good. So anyway, fast forward to that, I spent a few years in Seattle, a great city. I mean, 2 great cities to come out of college with. And during Seattle, I know you guys are too young, but late 90s, man, the tech boom in the capital markets and the NASDAQ and all the dot-coms and everybody, and we just got interested into the capital markets then, and really just getting there, getting to the training facility, getting to our workout facility where our headquarters at 6:30 in the morning when the markets would open, and we would just start throwing dots at IPOs,
Really?
Yeah, having brokers back, 6:30, West Coast, 9:30 here, and the markets would open and you'd buy .com no matter what. They had no cash flow, no nothing. All they had was .com, and then you're making more money than you were on Sunday. Back then, 96, 97, 98, 99, and I just took an interest in the capital markets then because we made a lot of money, and we lost every bit of it when it crashed in 2000. So really got interested in the capital markets and how they work and intricacies. And being out in Seattle, you had Amazon, it had just gone public in 1997, right? Then you had Starbucks, of course, Costco, so many great, just innovative companies that are still driving the markets today. And Paul Allen was our owner. He bought our team, the co-founder of Microsoft. And he'd actually had Jeff Bezos walk through the locker room one time. And he was touting, he was going to buy books online, and you're like, what in the world is this guy talking about books online? And they went public in 97 and April or so of 97, and we were all like, yeah, or whatever. But who's going to buy books online,
You can't have Christmas without Amazon anymore.
And now you look at where Amazon is today. So if you just put, so you're always kicking yourself. But I think, when you're young and you have some money right out of college and you see, and you're in a boom like that, and then you lose it all, and you kind of realize, value investing is a lot better. Go for the long haul. Don't go for the quick fix. So I ended up getting, I was hired by Morgan Keegan after my 2000. 2000 was my last season, my 9th year. And then so I kind of took a little time off, and I just had an interest in the capital markets. And my dad grew up, my dad's been a salesman his whole life, and it's heavy equipment, big earth moving equipment. And early 80s, when interest rates were 15, 18%, I mean, we were economic beans and barbecue in Lexington. So I just wanted
my daddy.
Yeah. So I just wanted something that was probably not as economically cyclically dependent on a low interest rate environment and the ups and downs. And the capital markets, if you look, there's always value being created in down markets. And then when they're up markets, you have to be smart enough to take some off the table. So it was something very interesting to me. And now I'm a partner with a private wealth management firm, RIA, independent RIA, registered investment advisor in South Park called Queens Oak Advisors. And there's 11 of us with 6 ladies in the office, and we have Queens Oak Initiative for Women. And we do everything from full planning, cash flow analysis for small companies, all the way to planning for individuals getting ready to sell their company or retirement, all the way up to just individual strategies, equity, value strategies. So it's a good deal.
Well, Deems, and I think something we're going to hopefully you'll stick around for the next segment, but I think something we want to talk about is something you mentioned to me before we came in, and that's some of the work that you do helping some of the younger kids, seniors in college that have the opportunity to play professional sports. All of a sudden, a lot of fame and a lot of money is thrown, and there's been a lot in the news and the media lately about how many people don't make it, and they end up going bankrupt because of poor support and not having good advisors on their team. So we're coming up on a break. We've got about 10 seconds. Deems May is going to stick around with us. Folks, you're listening to At Home with Roby. We'll be right back.